Current and former inmates are suing the Alabama Department of Corrections for the prison system's labor program. The lawsuit says prisoners are forced to work with little or no pay in what they call modern-day slavery. It says the jobs they perform benefit government entities or private companies. The class action lawsuit also accuses the state of maintaining a discriminatory parole system with a low release rate that ensures the supply of laborers will also generate money for the state. The Alabama Department of Corrections and the Alabama Attorney General's office declined to comment on the lawsuit.
The book of Habakkuk, chapter 1, verse 4. Therefore, the law is slacked, and judgment doth never go forth. For the wicked doth compass about the righteous. Therefore, wrong judgment proceedeth. In this instance, we're speaking on America again. Their laws, their unrighteous decrees, their traps and deceit used to oppress mankind, but mainly the children of Israel. Remember, they hate us and will burn still hating us. Listen, you ever thought about in a decent sized slave plantation in the southern states, held between like 20 to 30 of us, and a little more depending on, the slave owner status. But in the Caribbean, on the islands, those plantations had about 150 or more of us. And through the decades, we see that a lot of their children have migrated here to America. We're speaking of the Haitians, the Jamaicans, okay? So now the Civil War is over, right? And Lincoln so-called freed us from that, the hard controlled bondage his people had on us. Although that was prophecy, that the yoke of iron would not be removed until he had destroyed us. That's spiritually and our heritage. But see, there was still a problem. You got all these loose, free Negroes roaming around, and we see that they do multiply, right? This is what this devil is saying. What other way to keep slavery going where we're staying also in control of the land and continue to brutalize these monkeys than to build houses for them? And what kind of houses we speaking about? We speaking about those jails in that prison system. You see, they say that they're going to make the laws to go against us and will have their own kind prosecuting us. And the one that's hitting the gavel will be one of them as well. So what are we saying? That's the police, which is the patrolman. Then you have the accuser, right? And then finally the judge, who still takes orders from who? The next level. You see, these devils come in different statuses of who they really are. And this is how the present world turns. You see, the earth was given into the hands of the wicked, and that's Esau. And that's speaking of the rulership. And their rulership allows them to judge perversely and unrighteously. But remember, we are their enemy. And that's vice versa, because it's according to Deuteronomy 28 and also Luke chapter 169 through 72. So we're not condoning and telling you to break any of Esau's laws. No, we don't do that. If we follow the commands of Yahweh and Yahweh Shah, 9 times out of 10, we would not have to break none of these devil's laws or try our best not to. But remember as well, you remember that stop and frisk? You see, Esau has these tactics, right? To put his hands on the Israelites, to place them behind these bars. These are the things that they built up. This is how this money rolls in. Okay? We as people, we might outnumber them, with bodies, but the wicked outnumber the righteous, and they seek our blood. We might overpopulate them in the prisons and the jails. But let me tell you something, man. In them chariots, we're going to overpopulate as well. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 16. Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field. Cursed shall thou be in the city. Did not they redline us? But when we get a little change, we try to move to the suburbs, only to be watched and followed, or The prices of the homes makes it where we have to work as in slavery to uphold it. You see, that's oppression. That's designed oppression, targeted to the ones given to be oppressed. You see that? Cursed shall thy be in the city and in the field. Yeah, we are looked upon as laughing stocks. Listen, there are cemeteries that lie in cities and rural areas that house an abundance of Israelites. Whether innocent or guilty, they say the mission has been accomplished. You see, when we was in Egypt, the scripture tells us that we were fruitful. That means we made many of children and we overpopulated them. Nothing is new under the sun. Synonymous kingdoms in all aspects except nationality. We're speaking about Egypt and America. It's too many of us. So your department stores will eventually turn into camps. They say they want a clean house, right? Other words, man, that's Jacob's trouble. Any and whoever is in opposition to their new world order, starting with the ones who prophesied these things, are subject to the camps. That curse never left us, y'all. All you got to do is go look at the prisons and all the county jails. Let's close out on this right here. The book of Revelations chapter 2 verse 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. You see that right there? It says, fear none of those things. That's what the Lord tells us, because they're going to cause a lot of us to suffer. He's letting us know, though, that some of us will be cast into prison by the devil. Now, hold on a second. Can a spirit place hands on you, cuff you, and hold you in confinement? No, man. So when we tell you that the so-called white man on earth, whose biblical name is Esau, Edom, Idumean, man, listen, he is also the devil on earth. He's the old serpent. Let's go ahead and read this back again. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So it will be the time that the Lord said it, where for you to be tried like gold is in the fire. Okay? He's letting you know to be faithful until the end. That's how we get our crown, man, and a definite ticket inside the chariots. And this crown will be a crown of immortality and power in the new life. You see, there are brothers and sisters in there, we speaking of the prisons, that believe in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, that the Lord allowed to be able to use what? Their phones, their tablets, to receive the internet so that they can be edified and uplifted daily. Because all they see around them is a cemetery for the living. Shalom.